My name is Eoin, and today I'm going to be taking you through a step-by-step process to a restyle from longer hair to mid-length. My lad hasn't had a haircut in a long time, and as you can see, he currently has shoulder-length hair that looks a little damaged. After a thorough consultation, we have agreed to go forward with creating a mid-length style that will incorporate some creative elements to suit his expressive nature. I started this haircut the same way we start every haircut, by analysing the fixed factors. My lad has a strong hairline, especially at the exterior, and I could tell his hair has the potential to be quite reactive if taken too short. This is something I have to take into consideration prior to making any decisions on shape and length. I mapped out the desired haircut by sectioning it into 5 panels. A square panel through the top, 2 smaller side panels, a deep triangular section through the crown, and the remaining panel throughout the back. This haircut will be a mixture of triangular and square shapes. I started this haircut in the back panel due to the fact it's the largest zone of the head and will dictate the rest of the haircut structure. The length at the back will give me my length for the sides, and the length at the back will also give me my length for the top. My initial incision was cut visually at the exterior neckline using my scissor. This will give me the guide for the remainder of the panel. Once the exterior was outlined and I was happy with the choice of length, I then started to build some graduation through the back by taking my first diagonal section from behind the ear on the right hand side. I gauged my choice of length from the exterior neckline and created a triangular cutting line which makes the hair shorter internally and slightly longer externally when it follows the head shape. I then took subsequent diagonal sections throughout the entire panel, combing under each new section and adjusting my body position so that I removed both weight and length. Once this sectioning pattern crossed over at the back, I began the same process through the left hand side, only difference being is changing my body position and my finger angle. Once this panel was complete, I released the triangular section and then started to over-direct the hair within this section to meet the graduation built up below. I did this by taking more subsequent diagonal sections and bringing them all to the same point, which gives me an enhanced triangular shape through the crown. Once I completed the back, I then softened the sharp point in my shape where my graduation crossed over, and I balanced out the hairline by using my razor. I also removed any unnecessary hair on the neck in order for the neckline to sit flush. Next, I moved on to the sides. Throughout the sides, I used horizontal sections to build up graduation, elevating each new section and using my previously cut section as a guide until I reached the rounding of the head. Before moving on to repeat the same process on the other side, I cross-check my shape by taking a vertical section to ensure the shape I created was triangular. Through the sides, I also instilled some forward graduation at the temple to avoid the hairline becoming too bulky. I did this by taking a shorter section at the front hairline and utilising over direction to bring each new section to meet the first until I ran out of hair. Moving on to the top, I started with a profile guide directly down the centre of the head. This will decide my choice of length and shape for this zone. I will use a reference point from the crown to gauge my length and work forward, cutting a square vertical shape into the haircut. Once I created the profile guide, I then used a vertical sectioning pattern and over direction on the top to create a square shape horizontally, subdividing and pulling each new section into the last, working towards the rounding of the head. I repeated the same system on the left hand panel of the head, the only difference being, instead of pulling each section into the last, I then pushed each section into the last to ensure my over direction is creating that square shape. Notice that I'm standing on the same side of Milad the entire time, ensuring me maximum visibility and control over my shape. Once I cross-checked the shape on top, I then took out some of the disconnection that we created through the square shape. I did this by taking a section from the recession area at the front hairline to a point in the centre back of the head on both sides. This ensured that I kept enough width and disconnection through the fringe, but took out any unnecessary hair in the back corners. I did this using diagonal back sections to help me visualise the shape more clearly. Time to pre-style the haircut. Prior to drying, I applied some motion matte paste in order to spread the product evenly through the hair. This styling will be done with my Dyson Supersonic, with the professional concentrator attachment and the paddle brush. I started the styling process with a medium heat and finished with the cool air to set the product prior to personalising the look. Once dried, I moved into the personalisation stages of the haircut, where I created some strength in the sideburns to complement Milad's facial structure. As well as working on the initial exterior shape and personalising it using my razor. I also refined this look with a combination of texturising techniques to add movement and softness. To finish, I used some more motion matte paste and some hairspray. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. To watch more in-depth tutorials just like this, please browse through our resource library. Thank you and see you next time.